Well, major breakdown, maybe down for a week, or staying in a very, very retro motel here in South Dakota on this episode
The
of
Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and oh so sweet studio audience. Yep, you know her, you love her. Joe can't live without her. It's Maple, the world famous Pancake Dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Wow, that was really close. Yeah, so obviously we're not in our normal surroundings, not here in the truck, because we're in this motel. This is the Dakota Winds Motel here in Kimball, South Dakota. Well, if you watched my last video about meeting Weird Al and about going to the concert and all that, and I'm sorry for having to keep pulling it down, but I kept getting copyright things slammed on it because if you watched the first version of it, when I was saying, hey, look, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt and panned to the crowd, well, that's what ended up flagging it. Because there was that song, H-O-T-T-O-G, Go. Yeah, you know. I'm old. Anyway, that was playing in the background, so that's what got it flagged. I thought it was because I showed Weird Al walking in doing his parody of Happy, which, of course, is called Tacky. So anyway, and then when I was trying to upload the video, I guess for the second time, where I was broke down in Chamberlain. I'll get to that here in a minute, and I did not have very good signal, and so it took 34 hours to load that video, and then it got flagged immediately again. So I pulled it down again, and finally then I uploaded it from my phone because it had a little bit better signal than my iPad did. So I'm sorry for the confusion, and that's what was happening with that. But I did, add to that third post of the Weird Al thing how, yes, I was broken down. Yeah, because my clutch went out. Not this clutch of my truck. And you say, well, but isn't that an automatic clutch? Yes, it is. Technically, it's an automated transmission. It still has a clutch. It's just I don't control it with my foot. It's got a clutch actuator. Sounds so spooky. And anyway, but the clutch still works as a regular clutch does. When the gears are shifting, the plates push together, and then as the clutch wears out, they slip. They slip more. And it was starting to slip on me, driving across South Dakota after I got loaded with a kitty litter, and then trying to climb that last hill from the Missouri River up to the top at Chamberlain. No, it just died, and I had to pull off on the side on the shoulder, let it cool down. I got to the off-ramp, and I had to wait there a little longer, and then I couldn't get it to move anymore. So I had to, I was thinking, okay, what can I do? Because towing both the truck and trailer is really expensive, and a big hassle. So I decided, let's see if I can get out from under the trailer, which I did. And I had to just rev the crap out of the engine, and I crawled about 2 miles an hour to the top of the off-ramp, just over to the right where this Speedway, Vets Woe and Go, is in Chamberlain, South Dakota, and then I sat there for 3 days. Yeah, this is Vets Woe and Go, also known as a speedway. Doesn't really have designated truck spots, but it's got this dirt area. And that's where we're going to be. I did get a hold of A&R Towing. They're right down the road from where I was, and I had to pay them to tow the trailer off the ramp, and then they brought it over to their yard. So David at A&R Towing, real nice guy, and I had to pay $300 for that just to tow the trailer. But that sounds worse than it is. But I'm also that essentially is paying for boarding, not boarding, but storage fee, or essentially, because it's on his lot now, and he said it'll just stay there. So anytime I'm done, I can come back once I get the truck repaired and pick it up. So the charge covered that and the storage of the trailer, so I thought that was pretty nice. But turns out he has a shop too, but he didn't mention anything about that, and I found out why on Monday. It's because he's booked up for like 2 weeks. He wouldn't have been able to get to it. He wouldn't have been able to help me out. So yeah, I had to sit there all weekend, and then Monday I had to just start calling everybody because nobody was open on the weekend. And so I had to call everybody and their dog, and within like a 200-mile radius, trying to find some place to go. And like I said, unfortunately, like I said at the end of the last video, this is not covered under warranty because a clutch is a wearable part, a wearable item. I was looking all around everywhere, but when I did try to put a claim in for my warranty, this place here in Kimball, Overweg, popped up, and they put their little thing up there. And I was like, okay, well, that's only 17 miles away. And if I got to get towed anywhere, let's go the shortest distance. And so I got a hold of them on Monday, and they were saying, well, you know, we might not be able to look at it till Wednesday. And I'm like, okay, well, if I can't find anything better, I'll call you back. And everybody else I was talking to, I talked to Freightliner in Fort Pierre, which is 90 miles away. Freightliner in Sioux Falls, which is 130 miles away. And they were both talking about next week. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here just bleeding money because now I had to give away my next load. I still haven't delivered the load I'm on. And so I'm potentially down thousands of dollars just by sitting here and waiting. I did call them back and I said, okay, look, if you can tow me over there Tuesday, I need a shower. So that I know if you can't look at it till Wednesday, that's fine. But tow me over there Tuesday so then I can check into the motel right across the street and get a shower, which I finally was able to do. My God, I felt so gross. Because, yeah, I mean, we had to just stay there in the truck over the weekend. I had food in the truck. I had food for Maple, you know, and all that. It's just, you know, when you can't go anywhere, it makes it a little difficult. And so that's why we're here. Now, here at the Dakota Winds Motel. And it is a motel. It's not a hotel. Here, I'll show you. So, starting the tour of the room, we even got a fly swatter on the door. Little table over there. A couple of beds. Very retro 70s, early 80s look. Do have a flat screen TV and a full-size fridge. How about that? And then just your little sink area. They gave me a shampoo, but I couldn't get the little metal thing off on the inside while I was in the shower. I'm like, okay, that's kind of useless. Very old school motel bathroom and shower, but it does the trick. And this one cracks me up because if you remember the movie The Sure Thing, where they had this kind of lights, and it's like, turn it once, right's on, twice, left's on, 3 times they're both on. No.
Night. No.
There's Maples. We're just making our trek out here this evening. So there's people over there at the Frosty King, so she's having to watch them, right, Maple? Maple, sweet girl. And you see, we're right across the street here. The sun's blocking it, but from Overweg Repair, that's where my truck is. So, I mean, can't get any closer to the repair shop, and I'm over there in the corner. Very old school motel, but I kind of prefer these. Yeah, this place reminds me of the type of motels we used to go to when I was a kid, and we'd drive and do a lot of driving trips. We used to drive down to Texas all the time to visit my grandmother. So these are the kind of places we'd stay in. So it reminds me of that. Oh, and I got to show you this too, because this shows you how retro and everything this place is. Look, I have an actual key. Not a card key, but an actual key. How about that? Yeah. All I needed was a bed, a shower, a fridge, and a microwave. Because I brought some of the food from the truck, so I can at least cook up some, like, you know, mac and cheese. I brought some. I bought some Dakota Tom sandwiches while I was stuck there over the weekend, and I can heat those up in the microwave. I forgot to bring my plates and bowls. Darn it! But I'll walk over to this truck stop not too far away tomorrow and see if I can find things like that. But I got stuff to get me through tonight. And there is the, as I showed earlier in the video, the Frosty King. I had lunch from there today, and I'm going to go over there and get myself a burger for lunch tomorrow. What do you think? So they did get the truck in, yeah, because they towed me, and since he wasn't towing all that far, he just towed it from the back, so that they didn't have to drop the drive line, which is nice. Because if you remember, if you've been following my channel a long time, the one and only time I ever had to have my Coronado towed, they didn't tie up the drive line right after they had dropped it, and they scraped it on the ground, and that cost me $2,600. We did end up working that out later with Gibson Towing. He did reimburse me for that at least, but because it was his driver's fault. But That's why that makes me nervous. So they just towed it from the back, and then so just the steer tires were rolling. He said, we're only going 17 miles, so let's just do it this way. We just got to go slower. I'm like, hey, slower is fine with me. Don't drop my truck. And it was the owner of Overweg who came and got me today. And then they put it right into the shop, and then I had to quickly just try to pack up all the stuff that I needed to carry over to the motel. And like I say, I forgot a few things, but at least mainly got Maple's food, got some food for me, got a change of clothes so I could at least get showered and all that, which finally, after, God, it was 5-6 days, my God, I needed a shower so bad. So yeah, so now we're just sitting here in the Dakota Winds. I did call them late this afternoon to see if they'd had a chance to find out the problem. I'm almost positive it's the clutch. They do have one in Sioux Falls, so hopefully they can get it. But no, they were still trying to drop it and everything, and so I said, all right, well then I'll hope to hear from you tomorrow sometime. So I may be here a day or 2 or 3. Right now remains to be seen. So yeah, this is a great example of the lousy side of trucking when you know, when your truck breaks down like this and then you have to leave it somewhere. Well, the truck is my house. That's where all my stuff is. That's where my, you know, fridge is. That's where my bedding is. That's, you know, I live in the truck. And so now I have to just kind of pack up a little bit real quick and come over here and stay in this motel. You know, got Maple with me though. That's nice to have her with me. And, you know, I mean, there's a lot worse places I could have broken down. It could have been on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. Luckily, I made it to the top of that off-ramp and was able to at least make it over to the Vets Woe and Go Speedway. Basically a gas station with a couple of truck pumps, but they had truck parking. So I was able to sit there all weekend at least, and then now here I am, and I'm actually enjoying an adult beverage. Welch's Craft Cocktails, ready to drink vodka cranberry. It says it has real fruit juice. I can have an adult beverage here. I'm not going anywhere. I don't even have a vehicle. I'm just sitting in this motel. So, well, there you go. So that's what's happening. And, yeah, don't know when they're going to be done. Could be day, could be 2 days, could be into next week. So, meanwhile, you know, like they always say, if the wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning, and I'm not earning anything, and now it's just costing me money. So this is the lousy side of trucking, but we have Maple, so at least I have my companion with me. Well, thanks for tuning in for that one. Yep, not in the truck and here in this motel, but at least it's kind of interesting and retro. So what are you gonna do? So we're just making the best of our time here, right, Maple? Yeah. At least we have your food and stuff. We got some food for me, so we're covered for a little bit. There's Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter X, Clutch Trucker 5 on TikTok. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Maple. Out. Elliot? You can't name the kid Elliot. Come on. Elliot's a kid with glasses who eats paste. You gotta give him a name. Like Nick. Nick's your pal. Nick's your buddy. Nick's the kind of guy who doesn't mind if you puke in his car. Nick! Of course, I did make sure I brought the Maple treats. So we brought her from some Smart Bones. All right, silly girl, look what I got. Look, Maple, I've got the Smart Bone. All right, you better hop down to have it. Come down here. Come down here. Look, it's right here. Follow the Smart Bone down. Follow it down, honey. It's going way down there. Look, it's down there. Jump down for it. Oh, Maple, you can do it. Come on, silly girl. It's a Smart Bone. Go get it. Oh, you're silly. All right, she's got it. She's got it. She's a happy girl now. Well, you know, we couldn't leave the truck without taking the Maple treats as well as her regular food and everything, so we got to try to be as comfortable as possible while we're here. And now we have a happy dog. Look at that. Happy girl. Right, Maple? Oh, happy girl.